What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another match preview stream. We play Luton at Kenilworth Road tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff. So Spurs do kick off the weekend action just before the international break. And if we win, we go top of the league until the very earliest or latest, whichever way you want to look at it. Arsenal against Manchester City at 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. So we could be spending over 24 hours at top of the league if we win tonight.
Wouldn't mind a couple of weeks top of the league. Look, it will definitely make the international break go a lot smoother. I can just sit there and look at the table for 2 weeks. That'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely fantastic. But look, before we get into the match preview, please do go check out our brand new website. Link is in the description below, but as you can see, it's on screen right now. WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk, where you get your latest blog posts every single day going up on there. And we've also got brand new merch going up all the time on there as well. So please do go and check that out. But let's get into the match preview. You're looking at the form of the two teams coming into it. I mean, complete polar opposites of form pretty much. Luton just about got their first win last time out against Everton, which was a result that I was surprised about, because I thought Everton going into that game, especially on the back of a win against Brentford, they would be licking their lips, to be honest, to face Luton, especially at home. But Luton dug deep. They got the win. Spurs, on the other hand, obviously have had a very good start to the season, scoring 12 goals, conceding 7 in the last 5, where Luton have scored 4, letting in 5. But
so Luton have a better defence over the past 5 games than we do.
Well, they've conceded less goals, put it that way. But I think, obviously, Spurs are the massive favourites going into this game. But the way you kind of assess Luton is that they've had a shocking start to the season, but they have progressively been getting slightly better as the weeks have progressed. And maybe they have given themselves a bit of a fighting chance, because I think the narrative has been, after the first 3 or 4 games anyway, that they're kind of sleepwalking to relegation. They're going to beat Derby's record of the worst ever kind of Premier League side. Do you still feel that way?
Well, look, they have 4 points after 7 games still. They're actually not in the relegation zone at the moment. So it goes to show maybe that the teams at the bottom, there's a severe lack of quality at the moment in those teams. But when I look at Luton, I do see a team devoid of a lot of quality, especially in the forward line. I think Morris is doing a great job, by himself at the moment.
He's such a good physical presence, isn't he?
He's like he's like a modern day
Kevin Davis.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly. I think that's a perfect analogy. So someone who's a bit of a battering ram. He's got a bit of quality. You saw that with the goal he scored against Everton, a really nicely struck volley. So he's definitely a threat. But can they beat Derby's record? I'm looking at them and I still think they can, to be honest, because Derby picked up another 7 points from this stage. So they ended the season with 11 points. Luton currently on 4. But to be fair to them, I've got to give them a bit of credit, because at the start of the season, they did look like they're literally going to lose every game. And it looked like it was going to be a very long season for them. And they have definitely been progressing week on week and starting to get results, and the performances have started to improve as well. They got a 1-1 draw against 10-man Wolves the other week at home in what was a very good performance. They were very unlucky to lose 1-0 at Craven Cottage, where I thought they should have probably won that game, let alone lost that game. And so they'll be kicking themselves. They didn't get any points out of that. They obviously beat Everton away from home as well, which isn't an easy feat. And especially, they got the goals from set pieces and defended very well. Everton in that second half really didn't have too many chances. So that's credit to how Luton defended in that game. And on Tuesday night, they lost at home to Burnley, but Burnley needed a 94th minute winner to win that game. And by all accounts, Luton were well worth a draw in that game as well. So they have definitely been improving, and their performances and results have definitely, you got to pay attention to that, because I don't think it's going to be maybe the easy ride a lot of people think it is. I think it is going to be a tough game. They do like to play a back 3 system, which is the system we struggled against when we played Sheffield United a few weeks back. So we got to be very careful that we just don't give them any encouragement going forward, and we control the game. We play our possession game, and we could dominate possession like we will, but we can't give them any encouragement, any silly set pieces, any counter-attacks. Just got to make sure to stop it at source, whether it be tactical fouls or just controlling the game with possession. We just got to be a bit careful, because if we let them take the lead and give them encouragement with that home fan crowd behind them, things could turn very difficult very quickly if we're not careful. But I'm sure with the way we're playing, the quality we got, and we should be able to. Obviously, we have enough to get into over the line in this game. We know that, but it's all about how we go into this game. We start the season so well. I just hope the players are focused on the task at hand and don't get too ahead of themselves, think this game is won before we get there.
Yeah. If you bring up the lineup that we've got for them, obviously they've got some big injuries coming into this. Ross Barkley, Lokonga, Potts, Osho and Clark, and especially like Lokonga and Barkley and even Potts to a certain extent have all got Premier League experience. Lokonga not so much with Arsenal, but he did play a couple of games. Potts with West Ham.
Played for Palace as well.
That's true, and Palace last season. Ross Barkley obviously has been a seasoned pro in the Premier League. Without these kind of players, they do have their captain in Lockyer. I don't think he's got too much quality about him. I have been...
Scored at Everton.
I know that, but I mean, in terms of where the quality is, they've got Marvelous Nakamba in the middle of the park, who I think he's a fairly good player. Adebayo, I think most of their attacks, they try go through him down the right-hand side, getting crosses in the box for Carlton Morris. But do you think it's a case of kind of like block those crosses, don't let them get crosses in the box, and that kind of essentially diminishes the most of the attacking threat that they do have?
Pretty much. I think pretty much all their goals this season have come from either a set piece or a cross into the box. And that's their main source of goals. And if you stop Morris, you pretty much stop Luton. That's been the story of the season. So I think they're very physical with set pieces. The fact that they can bully a team like Everton from set pieces, which they did in that first half at Goodison Park, shows the threat they can be. And they're very clever. They've got a few set piece routines, and they're very smart about how they go about their set pieces. And they're very physical as well. And that set pieces is something that I think we have improved on during the season, but definitely in pre-season, that was a big element of worry. And maybe at the start of the season as well, you're thinking set pieces is something that we're going to have to work on. So you just got to make sure you're limiting the amount of corners you're giving away, not making any silly fouls in and around the penalty area, limit their ability to get players forward and whip those crosses in. Because I think they know that they're going to spend a large amount of the game in their own half, defending in a deep block with that back three, which is pretty much going to be a back five. With a lot of wing back systems, the wing backs are more like wingers, but these wing backs are definitely more like fullbacks than they are wingers. So it's pretty much going to be a back five with I think they most of the time it's like a 5-3-2. I think they play Adebayo and Morris up front together. He scored a nice goal, to be fair, in midweek. Adebayo, really nice turn and finish inside the box, but and they should have had a penalty as well. So they can be a threat if you give them the opportunity, but again, it all comes through Morris. Because his hold-up play is exceptional. He's really good in the air, and he's actually got a decent finish on him if you give him the opportunity, like he showed at Goodison Park. So, as long as we restrict those opportunities, if we don't allow them to go direct into Morris, that's going to be a big part of their attack nullified, and as well with set pieces. So, as long as we can keep doing that, we should be okay. But they're going to set up traps to try win set pieces. When Morris picks up the ball, he's going to be trying to earn fouls in our half and in our third, and trying to give opportunities to Luton to bring the centre backs forward, all those sort of things. So we definitely got to be careful of that. But if we stop Morris in open play, I think you pretty much stop Luton.
When you're looking at that matchup, obviously Morris, like you say, has been central to them. He's been their best player by far. 3 goals and 1 assist so far this season, and 7 appearances is actually really impressive.
I think 2 penalties
for Morris. Yeah, but still, you've still got to score them. And for a team like Luton, you need to just grab everything that you can, essentially. Marvelous Nakamba, like I said, I've been fairly impressed with him in the middle of the park. But when you're looking at the matchups on the pitch, especially with Morris, like he's probably going to be coming up against the most physical centre-back that he's come up against all season in Cuti Romero. And how do you envisage that kind of matchup going?
I'm not worried about Romero, actually. I'm actually in a weird way more worried about Van de Ven, because Ollie McBurney gave Van de Ven a real torrid time when we played Sheffield United. And whenever they got the ball up to McBurney, more often than not, McBurney was winning it in the air. And that Van de Ven is a very tall player, and he's strong. But aerially, I'm not saying he's suspect, but he's not amazing when it comes to winning aerial duels. He's lost quite a few, especially in that game. Specifically in that game, I think most other games, he hasn't been maybe tested aerially as much. Most other teams like to play on the ground, like when we played Bournemouth, when we played Burnley, Arsenal and Man United, all these other teams, they didn't really have physical presence up front where they can just lump the ball forward. But that was exactly the plan for Sheffield United. Lump the ball to McBurney, get him to do flick-ons and see if they can get anything out of those situations. And they didn't really get much joy from his flick-ons, but they definitely did get joy from McBurney. He was winning a lot of headers out of Van de Ven. So I think Luton would have studied made that. I would have seen that Van de Ven maybe, I wouldn't say he's a liability aerially, but he's definitely someone where they can get some joy out of. And that's definitely a situation we got to be careful of with that. I think Romero will be very physical up against him and won't let him have the joy that Van de Ven might. Not let him have, but he could get out of Van de Ven. So I'll be less worried about Romero. I think Romero can deal with it, but I think Van de Ven has proven that that's something that is a bit of a weakness.
Yeah, and we know what they're going to do. We know that they're going to be lumping balls up top to Morris for him to get the flick-ons and to hold up the ball and get the ball into wide areas and try and get crosses into the box. So I kind of feel like if we can like press high up the pitch and really make life hard for them out on the flanks and in the middle of the park where they're trying to pump those balls long, then we should essentially just diminish their threat that they bring, and then the quality should shine through.
Yeah. 100%, but you just got to be careful. Like if they have a good start to the game, they get a bit of encouragement early on that can change the momentum of the game. I think we just got to make sure first early doors in the game, first 10-15 minutes, you quieten the crowd, you dominate possession, you even pass it around the back for a few minutes, just really make them run around a bit and just show that you have the quality to keep possession away from them. Maybe the crowd starts to quieten down a bit, maybe they lose a bit of hope, but maybe they don't gain that encouragement, and then then we can take control of the game and show our quality. But I think they are going to be very physical against us. It's a very big game for them. It's probably their biggest game of the season so far. I think it's the first time they're going to play a top 6 team at home, because they played West Ham, didn't they?
They played Chelsea, yeah.
Away from home. I'm saying at home, first top 6 game at home, I think.
Didn't they play Chelsea at Kenilworth Road?
No, it was Stamford Bridge.
Was it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Stamford Bridge. So I think it's the first time they're playing at home against a top 6 team. So I think the crowd will be well up for it. So we just got to make sure we quieten them and then show what we're about. But the problem is, Kenilworth Road is a small pitch. So they're already playing a back 5, and that's going to restrict the space in the centre and out wide as well. So it's going to be very difficult for us to play through the lines. Hopefully we can get an early goal and open up the game a bit. And if we can do that, it can become a different game. But as long as Luton are hanging in there and they don't concede, they get to half-time 0-0 or something, that'll just give them encouragement. So we need to make sure in that first half, we not put the game to bed, but get an early goal, show your quality, and show that you're asserting yourself on the game.
I do kind of feel like if we do go and get that early goal, though, it could be quite a large scoreline in this game. But the longer it goes on 0-0, obviously, the more tough it's going to get. In terms of like the selection headaches for Spurs, I mean, there really isn't much, to be honest, is there?
No, obviously we know that Solomon's out, Perisic is out, Brennan Johnson's out, so it doesn't really leave too much to the imagination when it comes to who's going to play. The only really selection to think about is, considering how Luton played, you just go for Richarlison in the middle and Son on the left, because he said Son's available to play. So is that a case? Because do you want Richarlison more in those positions where he's able to get headers in on goal and things like that, be a bit more of a physical presence in the box? I am a bit worried that if Son starts centrally, will he just be a bit anonymous? Will he get involved in the game? But it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Richarlison did play well, though, out on the left against Liverpool. And Son obviously got a goal still. So is it something you're just going to look to continue, and just maybe mid-game, if it's not working, then you change it? I think that's probably the way he's going to go. But in terms of the other positions, Madison's fit. The back 5, all fit. So that can't be changed. There's no real selection headaches to be had.
And like, do you think like there's even a chance for Alejo Veliz in this game? Maybe not to start, but to come on and get significant minutes if things aren't going well, because he provides that different option that we don't have, that maybe a Richarlison or Son doesn't give us.
Yeah, I think if we're chasing a goal, you could definitely put a second player up front and go 4-4-2. And try and really force the issue, get a couple of strikers on, 2 strikers who've got aerial ability. I think that's what he was trying to do against Liverpool, but obviously Veliz didn't have enough time in that game. And I think he did that because he saw they've got Konate, they've got Van Dijk, they had Matip, 3 aerial threats, and you're going to have to combat that with some aerial threat of your own.
You just never got him in there and never flooded crosses into the box.
Yeah, I mean, he came on just before stoppage time, didn't he? So he probably had 6 minutes or so.
To be fair, though, if Matip doesn't touch that, it probably goes all the way through to Veliz, and he probably knocks it in.
Yeah, exactly. So that sub might have counted in the end if Matip doesn't get that own goal. But I think Veliz can definitely be a big threat in this game. I think out wide, does Bryan Hill maybe get a chance off the bench as well if we need a bit of trickery? Because I'm looking at the wingers. I think Kulusevski could be all right in this game, but I'm looking on the left-hand side, whether it be Richarlison or Son, I can see it being very difficult for whoever's on the left to really get a lot of joy out of a back five system. Whereas I feel like Bryan Hill in that position, he might be a bit more nimble in the tight spaces than Richarlison and Son, and we might need that bit of guile in this game to pick the lock. So I feel like Bryan Hill can definitely be an option on that left-hand side.
Obviously, like, we've got a lot more quality than Luton have to bring to this game, and if you're playing this game on paper, Spurs probably win this 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10. But when you're looking at the setups that we've struggled against this season, you're looking at the Sheffield United game, we struggled until the last minutes of the game. The Liverpool game, when they put 9 men behind the ball, we struggled against their low block. Is that the thing that's concerning you coming into this?
100%. It's going to be a challenge. We know that they're going to set up to frustrate. A draw is a very good result for them in this situation. So I'm sure that if you get to the last 20 minutes or so and they're still drawing, they're going to try and hang on for that result. They're not going to go for the win. So it's going to be very difficult to break down. And not only that, they're at home in a very big game for them. So they're going to be they're going to have their lives on the line. For example, the goal the goal Liverpool scored against us last week, where Van de Ven and Bissouma, they're not putting their body on the line for that goal. They allowed Gakpo to turn and shoot, and no one's really throwing their body at it. That's not going to be the case for Luton. You saw how Sheffield United defended against us. Every time we got near the box, they're throwing their bodies in front of everything, and they're literally putting their life on the lines to try and stop a goal. That's what I'm expecting from Luton on Saturday, and that's what's going to make it very, very difficult for us. And that's where our quality needs to shine through. If they're defending like that, we got to make sure our passes and our shooting is as precise as possible, and we break the deadlock as soon as possible. And that's where maybe mistakes can creep in. But I feel like they're going to be defending very resolutely. It's going to be a very tough battle to try and break through that back line. And I'm not concerned about it, because I think we have the quality to do it, and especially Maddison being fit, he's going to be a key player picking that lock. If I'm choosing one player who's probably the most important in this specific game, I am probably going for James Maddison, because his ability in and around the penalty area to find a pass, to open up a defence, is crucial in this kind of game. So we need him to be on his A game. But I think Luton, it's going to be I can see it being a bit of a struggle in parts in this game to break them down and then frustrating us, unless we can get that early goal, open up the game a bit, and then I think you'll see a few more mistakes from Luton.
Yeah, the problem is that Spurs have been notoriously like slow starters to games this season. That's a big issue, and we need to kind of come out of the traps quick in this game and kind of not take them by surprise, but just put the pressure on them from early on and start pressing them high up the pitch and really like start forcing them into mistakes, because we've got the quality to do that. We've got the physicality to do that as well in the midfield with the likes of Maddison and Bissouma and Pape Matar as well. So I think if we do that and do get that early goal, like I said before, I do think it can be quite a convincing scoreline. I just hope that we don't have a slow start like we have done most games this season.
Yeah, when I look at, like, say, the Sheffield United game, when you have that the first half we had, I wouldn't say we had a bad first half, but obviously we did struggle to create really good quality chances. But what we did do, which I think we should be doing against teams in low block, is like Son was having shots from 25 yards and forcing saves out of the keeper. So was Maddison. So was Sarr. When we got near the box and we saw an opening in and around the 25-yard area, we were taking attempts and we were very close to getting the goals. And in those kind of instances, if they go against you and the keeper is making good saves, then all of a sudden it becomes harder. But if one of them can go in early and we can get one of them to go in the back of the net, then all of a sudden it tells the opposition, okay, you can't let us shoot from 25 yards, and then they have to change their tactic. So I think that is the right approach, but you just have to make sure that you've got the quality to make it pay in those situations. And I think against Sheffield United, we were a bit unlucky because the keeper made a few really good saves in that first half from range, and we weren't able to really break through get shots off inside the box. But if we can do the same thing against Luton and one of them comes off, I think all of a sudden it changes the game plan for Luton, because their game plan is going to be simple and it's going to be to frustrate us. But if we can get that moment of quality early on, but that what separates the big teams and the best players from not, because the best players in those instances, one of those moments of quality will come off. They will get a shot from outside the box, and one of them will fly into the top corner or something like that, and that's what can open up the game. You see it so often with like Man City. There'll be like a game where it's a bit of a stalemate, even against a lesser team, and then just a moment of quality, someone will pick up the ball from 25 and bag it in the top corner, and then all of a sudden the game has to open up. So I think that's sometimes what it takes to open up these kind of games.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely spot on. But we need to be kind of, first of all, stamping our authority on the game, because we have that authority coming into this game, and also riding that wave of momentum that we're on at the moment. You know, it's understated the way that the end of that Sheffield United game, the draw at the Emirates, and also that last minute win against Liverpool, how much that can kind of put you on a wave of momentum and really get good feeling seeping through the team. And I wouldn't say like thinking they're unbeatable, but you have that kind of air of constantly winning and winning at all costs. And if we can take that into the start of this game and start really well, I have no doubt that we go and win this game comfortably. Yeah,
it just builds belief and builds confidence throughout the camp. And I think how many times have we seen in years gone by, even like last season, or I remember under Mourinho, right? We went top of the league because we beat Man City and we beat Arsenal in consecutive home games. We go top, and then we're just after that run, you're thinking, okay, surely we're going to be as confident as ever now. We've just beaten two of the best teams, and we're now going to go on a run. I think we won one of our next 5 games after that. We let it slip. We didn't build off of that. So I think it's going to be a big test. I think it's going to be more of a test mentally than it is about our quality or anything tomorrow, because I think Tottenham in years gone by, they'll have an opportunity to do something like this, like to go top of the league or something like that, and they won't take it. They'll think the game was won before they've turned up. Mentally, they won't be on top of their game. So I think if we can have and that's what Ange was saying in his pre-match press conference. He said he's more, yes, results can come and not, but he's more worried about the performance level that he's going to show in this game, rather than, obviously he wants to win, of course, but he's more worried about, are the players going to be showing the levels that they've been showing this season? Are they going to be mentally focused on the game? Because otherwise, doesn't matter what the result is, he doesn't want to be focusing on a poor performance for the next 2 weeks. He wants to be focusing on something to build on a performance to show that the team is going to be there week in, week out, playing at their best all the time. So I think that is very, very crucial going into this game. That I think it's more of a mentality thing. It's more of a mental thing for me going into this game, of whether Spurs can show the fight that Luton show. If we can match their work ethic and their fight that they're obviously going to give in this game, we'll win it comfortably, in my opinion. But
I think that's been Spurs' X factor pretty much all season, is that we've outfought pretty much, maybe, I don't know about Liverpool, but I think we've outfought pretty much everyone else that we've played this season. And that's kind of been our, I don't know the word here, but it's like our ethos coming into the season. That's what Ange Postecoglou teams, they outwork, they outrun, and they outfight the opponents that they're playing. And I think that's what you're seeing in a Spurs shirt so far this season. And so if we can carry on that mentality that we have shown all season, I do think we win this game comfortably, to be honest. And do you learn much? Do you learn a lot if Spurs go and take these 3 points quite easily?
Obviously, you can't say you don't learn too much about how good the team is, but you definitely learn a lot about mentality of the team, 100%. Especially if we win it comfortably, or even if it's a case of we're camped in their half for 90 minutes and we get a last-minute goal again. I think again you'll learn a lot about the mentality of the team. They keep going till the very last minute, and I think you can learn a lot from these games, because it's all well and good people saying, oh, they should win these games. But if everyone won the game they should be, there'll be a 10-team title race every season, wouldn't there? Because teams obviously drop points against teams they should, and that's what makes the Premier League the league that it is. So I think even if you are beating teams that you should be, that's a sign of a good team, in my opinion, when you're getting over the line and winning comfortably, even against teams that you're expected to. It's all about getting the job done and putting the performance of the quality of the team. You see teams like Man United or even Chelsea, they're not always winning the games they should be, because there are problems there. So I think as much as you can't really go overboard just because we beat Luton, but you definitely can learn things about the mentality of the team and the togetherness. 100% you can.
In terms of looking at the Spurs team going into this game, who do you think are the most important players for Spurs on the pitch if we're definitely going to go and win this game?
In this one, definitely Maddison. I think he's probably the most important 100%. One for this game. Like, I wouldn't say that for every game. I thought against Arsenal was Basuma. I went into that game thinking it's Basuma, and even against Liverpool, I'd probably said the same thing. But this one is definitely Maddison. We just need to feed him as much as possible in and around the penalty area. Literally, whenever he's free, whenever we can see he's available, you just give the ball to him and see if he can perform some magic, because if anyone's going to pick the lock, if anyone's going to put the ball in the net from 25 yards, if anyone's going to start a little 1-2s in around the penalty area and start a footballing move, it's going to be him out of anyone. So I think James Maddison's 100% the most crucial player in this game. And then if I'm looking at other players, I think Pedro Porro could have a very big part to play on the right-hand side, because we know his quality of delivery and his ability as well to maybe get a shot off from 25 yards could be crucial. And then the wide players is how much they can get joy out of their fullbacks and get into the penalty area. I think we've seen Kulusevski's ability to progressively carry the ball into the penalty area and cause problems in the opposition defence. And I think if he can do that in this game, that's going to be a really useful asset against a deep-lying defence, in my opinion. And actually, one of his best games this season was the Sheffield United game, where they were sitting very deep, but he was causing a lot of trouble, because whenever he got the ball, he didn't necessarily have to beat anyone, but he kept carrying the ball into the penalty area, and that was causing a lot of problems for Sheffield United, and obviously ended up getting the goal in the end as well. So I think Maddison and I think Kulusevski is probably going to be the most crucial players in this game. And I envisage Sonny, unless he's going to pick the ball up from deep and maybe whip one in from outside the box, or maybe if he somehow finds a little bit of space in the box, because he can do that. We saw it against Arsenal, saw it against Liverpool, even against packed defences. He's starting to find little pieces of space that he can just make use of and get one-time finishes off. So if he is able to do that, then he's going to be crucial. But I do expect him to have a bit of trouble.
But that's the thing with Sonny. I'm not too bothered about him like being fully involved in the game throughout the 90 minutes and trying to pick up the ball and driving run forward. I just want him to stick around the 6-yard box, inside the box, feed off those balls from Kulusevski, feed off those balls from Maddison and Richarlison as well. And just be there, exactly, and just be there to finish off the ball like he's been doing all season, pretty much. Like that goal against Arsenal, right? When Maddison pulls it back to him, he's got 3 top defenders around him, and he finds that little space and just finds the bottom corner, far corner of the net. That's all we need from Sonny at the end of the day. He's got probably the best finisher in the league right now, with the amount of chances and he's getting to the amount of chances he's scoring. So I'm not too bothered about him being involved in all facets of the game. I just want him there to finish off the chances, and I think he'll be there to do that.
And one thing I think we have lacked a bit this season, which I think we should be much more on top of, is when we have a long shot and maybe the keeper parries it back into the dangers area, that we don't have enough players following up on that. And I wouldn't be surprised, maybe you can go back to stuff, I wouldn't be surprised in this game, that's where we get one of our goals, where you get a long shot, the keeper isn't able to hang on to it, and there's a player quickest to react to nod it home, because I feel like we've got we have the structure to do that, because a lot of the time we have the 2 midfielders in the box a lot of trying to follow up on things. Son can be a bit of a poacher as well. Richarlison as well, he can sniff out those goals. That's what he's definitely good at, and I think that's definitely something we need to work on, being very quick to react when things happen in the box, because a lot of the time I feel like we're not doing that. When we don't, a lot of the time the defenders are reacting quicker. So hopefully this can be an occasion where, if we are taking a lot of pot shots to try and open up the game, we can be quickest to react on the rebound.
In terms of Maddison, I know we are kind of like very much reliant on a lot of players, and if they get injured, then we're pretty much screwed in certain positions. But in terms of specifically James Maddison, are you worried about the chance creation in the team, like if he goes injured? Because if he's out, I just can't see us being anywhere near the same team as opposed to him in it.
Yes and no.
I think we're so over-reliant on him.
Yes and no. I think in these games, I would say yes. I would say we need a bit of magic from Maddison in this game to open up, because I think in these games, a lot of the time, when you're playing against a low block team, it's very difficult just from the structure of how you're playing to open them up, unless the football's very quick and you're on point with how you're passing it around. It's going to be, you need that little bit of magic, you need that little bit of spark to open up the game sometimes. I feel like when the games are a little more open, I think our structure can create us more chances in those kind of scenarios. You won't necessarily have to be reliant on a Maddison having that magic, albeit him being there will improve the structure. I think I think we can score goals. Obviously, maybe not at the rate that we are doing, but I think we can get goals in other games, even without Maddison, just with other players in there, just with where the players are positioned on the pitch, where the passes are going and things like that. But in these kind of games, we definitely need a James Maddison.
That's a good point from Paul Abraham in the comments, actually. Like, because if Maddison does out for a game or two, whatever it may be, would you like to see Kulu move into that 8? Because I would love to see that.
Especially if Lo Celso's not ready, I would look, because I think we've got Brennan Johnson there on the right. We've got Brian Hill, who could be an option as well. We could even play a front three of Hill, Richarlison and Son up top as well. So if that need be. So I think if Maddison is injured, I would like to see Kulusevski in that role. 100%. Why not?
All right, well, let's go on to the score predictions. What are you going for? You sticking with your 1-0?
I said 1-0. I'm glad that with the team news, so hopefully we'll have a fully fit team, pretty much unchanged from Liverpool, but I'm going to stick with 1-0 because I think it is going to be difficult to break them down. I envisage it's going to be I can see it being one of those games where it's difficult to break them down and we get a goal maybe in the second half and win the game. I do think our quality will shine through in the end, but I do envisage Luton making it very difficult for us, so I'm going to go 1-0.
Do you think that's going to be like a late goal?
Not necessarily a 90th minute one, but maybe like 20 minutes to go or something.
So you do expect, like, even if we score with 20 minutes to go, Luton are going to have to come out and start playing and start trying to really attack us. So I think even if we score with 20 minutes to go, I still think we'll get another one because I think there will be spaces there. So I think the only way we do win 1-0 is if it's 1-0 right until the wire and then we score in like the last minute kind of thing. My prediction, I'm going for 3-0 to Spurs. I do think we're going to get that early goal. I think we're going to come out of the traps quite fast, and I think it'll be a clear instruction from Ange, just try and get that goal as soon as possible because it would open up the game for us completely and we can really go on and be very dominant in the game. So I'm going to go 3-0, and my scorers for the weekend are going to be Decky's going to get 1, Son's going to get 2. Who's your scorer?
I'm going to go for Richarlison.
Rishi, like that. Rishi. All right. Well, that is our match preview. Let me know your score predictions in the comments section. I can see Brains has gone for 2-0 to Spurs.
Big up.
CCM28 going 9-1 Spurs. Danger Ranger 3-1. So very positive Spurs fans at the moment. We've got a super chat here from Tom Witten saying, here is Richarlison's time to shine on the left. Glad Ben's feeling better as he was looking even more pale than normal. Big up from California, lads. Big up, Tom. And thanks for the kind messages as well. I was just doing I was just trying to be the biggest Spurs fan I can be and just making my face the same colour as the shirt. So that's all it was. But look, let's get into the predicted lineup and then we'll go on to the call-ins. But let's start off with the predicted lineup. In terms of the team news, Ange Postecoglou has been speaking in the press conference. And what have we got to think about for team news?
So great news when it comes to a lot of the injury worries after last weekend. Maddison and Son both went off against Liverpool with problems. But he said Maddison hasn't missed a training session this week, so he's available. He said Son has trained the last 2 days. So he's fine and available. You got Lo Celso and Brian Hill back in training as well. So it looks like they're in contention to play in this game as well. He's also saying that Donnelly and Dorrington have been training with the first team this week. So whether they're going to be involved in the squad remains to be seen. But that's also a very promising sign from them. But Brennan Johnson remains out. He confirms Solomon is going to be a while, about 2 or 3 months, with a meniscus injury. So that's a big blow. Perisic obviously still out, and Ryan Sessegnon still unavailable as well, and Rodrigo Bentancur. So a lot of injury problems, but I'm glad it's not as bad as maybe we feared after last week. Yeah, and it's also kind of in areas of the pitch where we're covered, thankfully enough, because like if they were in other areas like centre-back, maybe another, like if Bissouma or Maddison or Sonny or one of these players that threatened to be out, it could have been a much bigger concern than it is now, isn't it? Yeah, and in a weird way, even though Solomon has been playing well and stuff, I do kind of want to see what Ryan Hill can offer, and I'm kind of excited about that, and I'm gutted for Solomon because he's had a really good start to the season, and he's really been contributing. But I guess when one door closes, another one opens. And I'm excited for Brian Hill to get an opportunity in this kind of system. And that was kind of another annoying reason. Obviously, we want to win a cup, but that was another annoying reason about going out the cup so early, because you've got players like Dorrington and you've got players like Donnelly knocking on the door at the moment with their performances they're putting in the under-21s. Ange is very impressed. You've got the likes of Brian Hill and Giovanni Lo Celso as well waiting in the wings. So
Is that more of a frustration for you that we're not going to probably see these players because just of lack of games, really?
Yeah, 100%. But at the end of the day, we have one game a week. Our first 11 is really strong at the moment. It's playing very well. So as much as frustration, some of these players won't get an opportunity, I'm very happy watching this first 11 every week.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's get into the formation. We're going for a 4-3-3 formation as per usual. And in goal, we are going to go for Vicario, obviously. Had a brilliant season so far. A bit of a different test coming up against a striker like Morris with a good aerial ability. But with what Vicario has shown so far, I don't really have a problem with him in this game at all, do you?
Yeah, not for me, obviously. And obviously he got nominated for Save in the Month for a brilliant save against Burnley as well. So that's good reward for another great month that he's had. And again, he's just been pretty much since the Brentford game, I can't think of anything wrong he's done. He's been absolutely phenomenal. So I'm delighted for him, and hopefully he's not too busy this weekend.
Yeah, you don't really think he would, like with the way Luton play and the way we play. You really think it should be a quiet day for him, but that's famous last words sometimes. Yeah. So Vicario in goal. Right back, we're going to go for Pedro Porro, who's obviously, again, he's proving his worth to the Spurs fans, to Ange Postecoglou. On the right-hand side, he's just growing in confidence, growing in defensive ability as well. And like you said before in the match preview, he's going to be one of the most important players in this game.
I think so. And I think in the last two games, we've seen really his defensive game really come along, and he's done a really great not to be kind of exposed against Arsenal and Liverpool on that right-hand side. I think defensively he's been fantastic. But in this game, I want to see him go back to that player who gets into the final third, is providing contributions, because I think he could be key. If we're going to find that bit of quality, we know Porro can provide it because he's got bags of ability in his right foot, whether that be a shot, whether that be crosses across the face of goal, whether that be crosses from the half space as well. I think he can provide it. So I want to see Porro be more offensive in this game, but he could be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. That's kind of... He's kind of been a better defender than attacker so far this season, and that's just kind of like the polar opposite what we thought of him coming into this season. So at least he's like strengthening up on his weaknesses, but I would like to see him get back to his strength 100%. So Porro at right back, right centre back, we're obviously going to go for Cuti Romero, and I think to kind of block the passes that Morris is going to get, trying to like get in front, step in front of him and be really aggressive up against him, then he's going to be vital for that.
Yeah, he's going to take no shit from Morris. That's what I love about Romero. He's going to try and rough him up as much as possible. We know Morris is a big physical player, and he's not going to be easy to bully. But if anyone can do it, we know Romero can. And Romero tries to bully whoever's in front of him. He doesn't care who it is. I remember when he played Antonio for the first time, and he completely bullied him. I remember at the Olympic Stadium. Huh?
I'm not sure about it. I think they both got the better of each other at times that day.
All right, well, he held his own, I would say. And that was in his first time he played against a really physical striker. So I don't think he's going to look at Morris and be intimidated at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely spot on. Left centre-back, obviously, Mickey van der Ven. And I think he's actually been the better of the two centre-backs in recent weeks. I've been really impressed with him, especially in the last 2 or 3 games. What do you think about him this weekend?
I'm not worried about him, but I would say that if they were studying that Sheffield United game, they would have seen how much McBurney got joy out of winning headers from Van der Ven. And I think that's what they're going to that will be the tactical plan for them. Maybe get Morris to stick to Van der Ven and see what joy he can get out of him. So hopefully Van der Ven will be up to the task this time round and win a lot more aerial duels, and I'm sure he will be. And even if he does lose a few, I'm sure he can recover. We'll have the players around to win the second balls anyway, so it's not shouldn't be too much of an issue, but it's just something to look at, because against McBurney I felt he struggled a bit to win those aerial duels.
Mm-hmm. And then to make up that back four on the left hand side is going to be Destiny Udogie, who I actually think Luton do predominantly attack down the right-hand side, or they favour the right-hand side over the left. So he'll probably have his defensive work cut out a bit more than Pedro Porro in this game, but I've got no worries about Destiny. I think he's been brilliant all season. He stood up to the challenge of Saka and Salah really well. Obviously, against Saka, he came under a lot of pressure in the early stages of the game, but he grew from that and definitely was the more dominant player by the end of the game. But it'll just be sod's law that he stands up to Saka and Salah, and then and then against Luton, he found wanting a little bit.
I'm sure he won't be. And in a weird way, offensively, he offers a different threat to Porro. Porro obviously likes to play in the half spaces, get crosses in the box. Udogie's actually more likely to take people on and actually get into the box himself and actually be like another option, like another attacker in that area. So I think he could be crucial as well when we're going forward. If he can find those spaces inside the box, I think as well, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one getting in the box and getting shots on goal as well, and being like not like a striker, but like more like an auxiliary forward at times, because I think he's definitely shown flashes of ability to do that. And I think he could be very crucial, providing that extra body in the attack.
Yeah, he's just so physical, and he just kind of like bundles his way past players with his sheer physicality. And at the age of 20 years of age, it's so impressive what he's shown so far in a Spurs shirt. But let's run through the back line with you guys one more time. It's Vicario in goal, Porro right back, Udogie left back, with the centre-back pairing of Romero and Van der Ven, a very familiar back four as we've seen all season. I think that's been the back four apart from the first game of the season, right, when Emerson played ahead of Porro. But let's move on to the midfield. In the number 6 position, obviously going to be Yves Bissouma, who's just been a shining light as many as other players. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't find the space he has found in some of the other games this season, but he's got so much quality. It's still going to be difficult to stop for Luton to stop him, even if they do clog up the central areas. He's so good at finding the little space there is. So I think he is going to have a crucial part to play in this game, and I want to see maybe a bit more advanced, because obviously he's going to be playing in that central area in and around the halfway line. But with how Luton are going to try and frustrate us, I want to see him maybe push up a bit and try and do what he does in the centre, maybe a bit further forward, and that can help break down this Luton team. I remember against Sheffield United, he had that moment, didn't he, where he takes the ball just like in the final third. He went past 2 Sheffield United players into the box and nearly scored in the first half. So if he can have a few moments like that, that can maybe really help try and break down this Luton team.
I kind of feel like he enjoys the tight spaces even more than sometimes when he has that space, because he just wriggles out of these kind of tight spaces so often, so press resistant as well. So I'm not worried about Bissouma whatsoever. In terms of his midfield partner, we're going to go for, on the right hand side, Pape Matar, who is just got so much bundle of energy, and he's going to be key to us to win that midfield battle.
Yeah, and he's going to have to show a bit more guile on the ball in this game. Obviously, he's shown a bit ability when he got that assist against Bournemouth. He can pick those passes if need be, but we're going to need to see that on a more consistent basis. Against Sheffield United, when we played that game, he was good at like getting shots off, but his passing wasn't really threatening enough for me to try and open up that back line. It's in these kind of games I wouldn't even mind seeing that Maddison next to a Lo Celso and just that extra creative option in there to cause more problems for Luton. So I think if Lo Celso was more fit, and I think maybe I'll consider starting him, but I think Sarah's been good enough anyway, and he's shown his ability to on the ball enough for me to be comfortable with him in the team. But it's just these kind of games where I wouldn't be surprised if Lo Celso was to start against Maddison.
Interesting. And then obviously James Maddison to make up that midfield 3, he is going to be the key man for us in this game, 100%. He's got the ability to pick a lock against any sort of defence, and with our struggles against low blocks so far this season, Sheffield United and against Liverpool, obviously we did end up winning those games very late on, but I want to see Maddison really take the authority in this game and be that chance creation king that we know he can be.
Yeah, I'm really hoping everything goes through him. He's the main creator in chief. He's the one that if we're going to find a spark, especially in those central clogged up areas, it's going to be Maddison to find it. And hopefully, look, he's come away this week injury free, which is really, really positive. Hopefully there are no kind of lingering injury issues going into this game for him. And if he's fully fit, I think he's the one. He's the key, I think, to unlocking this Luton defence. And whether that be a through ball, a cross from the half space to the back post, a shot from 25 yards, I think he can provide that little bit of magic. So I think he's the key in this game.
And then moving on to the front line, you probably would have guessed it, but on the right-hand side, we are going to go for Deki. Obviously, that's Dejan Kulusevski, who I think is actually going to be really vital in this game. I thought the way Sterling came up against Luton, I mean, they had loads of space on that right-hand side, and he attacked that side ferociously. And I want to see Kulusevski do something similar. We know his ball-carrying ability, and especially his ball-carrying ability inside the box is brilliant and second to none really in this league this season. So I want to see him do that, but also have the end product as well to match.
Yeah, and I think I agree. He's going to be crucial in this game because that ability to carry the ball into the penalty box when you got defenders on you, especially when you're playing a low block, is going to be crucial. And it's very, very hard to stop because he's such a physical player. You can't really muscle him off the ball, and it's very difficult to stop him doing what he wants to do when it comes to getting into the penalty box and opening up the defense and causing problems for your defense, whether that be dragging players out of position or just making your defense go deeper and creating more space. So I think he's going to be very crucial in the front line, and I think this game should be very suited to him with his physical attributes and his work in tight spaces. So I think he's going to be an important player for us.
I want to see him bully their fullback, really, or their centre back, or whoever he's coming up against, and really stamp his authority in the game. Up front, we're obviously going to go for Heung-min Son, and like I said before in the preview, we don't need him to be involved in all facets of the game, but just be there to finish the ball every time the ball comes into the box, and with his clinical finishing that we've seen all season, just carry on doing what you're doing.
I 100% agree, and I think he's shown signs the last couple of games that he's really starting to get better to grips even more with that side of being a striker. Obviously, he showed against Burnley what he can do when he's got space in behind to run into and how deadly he can be. Against Sheffield United, he struggled to really get involved in the game, and he was restricted to maybe shots from outside the box. But against Arsenal and Liverpool, obviously all three goals coming from inside the box, but especially the first two he scored in both games. Very much striker's efforts from a player with very clever movement, and he showed even when he's got defenders around him, he can still impact the game. So he needs to show that kind of side to this game in this one. Yeah,
and then last but not least, to make up the final 11 on the left-hand side, we are going to go for Richarlison, who definitely, since coming back from the international duty, seemed to have a bit of a weight lifted off his shoulders, seemed to be playing with a lot more freedom and confidence, and hopefully he can take that kind of momentum and form into this game and really get on the score sheet again.
Yeah, and I think obviously he played off the left against Liverpool and had a really good game, got himself an assist, and was probably unlucky, not to have more. He hit the post as well, and maybe didn't get the credit he deserved for what was a really solid game for him. And he definitely has been improving and making an impact. He got a goal and assist against Sheffield United in a fixture which we needed him to turn it around as well. And I think it's going to be crucial whether he plays centre or on the left. His ability in the air when crosses are in the box is going to be crucial. If Kulusevski is cutting inside, he's going to have to make that dart to the back post to make sure he's creating space and getting on the end of things. He could also be very, very crucial in this game as well. So I'm hoping for another strong performance from Richarlison.
All right, well, let's run through that lineup with you guys. Completely unchanged from Liverpool, we're predicting, with Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Destiny Udogie left back, Cuti Romero and Mickey van de Ven in the centre-back positions, with Yves Bissouma, Matasar and James Maddison as a midfield three, with Dejan Kulusevski and Richarlison supporting Heung-min Son up front. The predictions we are going for: Sim is going for 1-0 to Spurs. I'm going for 3-0 to Spurs. So let me know your predictions and predicted lineup. Do you think there will be any changes from the Liverpool game in the comment section below? And that is your predicted lineup for the game this weekend, just before the next international break. We've got a few more super chats to talk about just before we move on to the callers. First of all, David Shire says, great content, Ben and Sim from Western Australia. Big up to David Shire, and big up to him even more because he has gifted 5 membership, We Are Tottenham memberships to 5 of you lucky people out there. So thank you very much, David, and a big up to you from Western Australia.
Yeah, and who's he giving it to? Cantab, AF in Oz, Charles Ingram, Amel Mehik, and Sean Maddox.
Welcome to the family.
Big up. David Shire, you absolute king. Unbelievable. Absolutely. Unbelievable.
And CCM28 has a super chat as well. And he says, great show, y'all. I'll change my 9-1 to prediction to 4-0. So not as confident as you were a few minutes ago.
Changing it. What made you change it? Let me know. I want to know why you changed it. What did we say to make you change it? I want to know. What happened?
But let's go to our first. But it'll be helpful if we were plugged in to the headphones so we could hear our guest, because this next guest usually is a bit box office.
No, we don't need to hear Brian.
All right,
let's just pretend to hear him, just nod along. Smile and wave, boys.
All he has to do is this, and we know what he's saying anyway. So let's bring him on. Yes, Brian, how's it going? You're back into your home. We can see that little wooden panels behind you. Back in Canada, my friend. How's it going back home?
So first of all, you said box office. If you don't know, get to know. Yeah.
I didn't
Being
say
back
post
in,
office. I said box office.
no, being back is great. The weather's great. My sleep is still awful. I'm going to bed at 9:30 p.m. thinking I've slept for ages. Woke up, looked at my phone, and it's 11:15 in the evening. So I'm still getting that, but apart from that, it's wonderful to be back in Toronto.
Yeah, you look like with a beaming smile on your face. Back at the Scotland Yard this weekend?
Oh, you better believe it. I'm going to be there about 7:15 in the morning.
What time's kickoff?
7:30.
You've got that post-Canada glow on you, Brian, of the return. You look so refreshed. You look just very nice.
Mate, honestly, I really am. The weather, like I've landed it and it's been like 29, 28, 27. It's boiling already here. Yeah, it's really good to be back. I think it's because I've had my Popeyes as well, Simeon.
That must
I
be
think I've got Popeye glow.
All that fried chicken. Love it.
Exactly.
But talk to me about the game this weekend. Do you have any concerns coming into it? Obviously, are on massively great form, but Luton seem to be getting better as the weeks progress.
So I've got two concerns. One is obviously the injuries we've got to Son and Maddison and how long will they actually last and how much could that impact the game. But the other one is I think Luton is going to be very much like Sheffield United for us, isn't it? They're going to be very tight at the back. They're not going to want to concede. They're going to come back in numbers, and it's us keeping our patience and doing what we do and just waiting for it to happen, not forcing it. That's the issue. That's the one doubt I have and the negative.
Yeah, look, Luton, as much as people expect to win, how tough of a game are you expecting from them? What have you seen from them this season? What do you expect from Luton going into this game?
I've seen a couple. I think it was their last home game. I can't remember who they played, where they had someone got sent off, and but they are, as much as they defend, they do try and get the ball up, and they do try and play football. So we all knew that they are probably going to be the weakest team coming up. But also Kenilworth Road, the stadium, is going to be one of the hardest places to go to. So I think it's reflected, but they haven't really been rolled over, have they? Apart from Brighton on their opening day 4-1. Recently they gave
Chelsea 3-0. Don't know if you can call that rolling over.
Chelsea 3, yeah. Let's stay at home then, Ben. Let's stay at home.
At home, the results at home have been a 2-1 loss to West Ham, a 1-1 draw with Wolves, and a 2-1 loss to Burnley. So all been fairly tight games.
Yeah.
And the Wolves game is the one where I was talking about where they got 10, where they went down to the Wolves went down to 10 men and they got the job or got the draw. So Kenilworth Road is going to be a hard place to go to, but we've got the quality there to beat them. It's just, do we have the patience to play our football?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like it's really important for Spurs to have a strong start, which we haven't had all season really, and stamp authority early in the game and try and get that early goal. But when you're looking at the lineup that we could potentially play, would you go unchanged from Liverpool?
If I was to make one change, and it's only because I'm very, very concerned about his injury, I would start Valise and then bring Son on when they're tiring to bring them on, because Maddison, I think, can be the link that we need, the playmaker. Son at the moment is in devastating form, and we saw, and I heard Simeon use the word when he went off against Liverpool. I didn't see that footage. I think Simeon said he was in significant pain, was the terminology he used, and it did look that. And do we risk it? Do we risk him for 90 and then he's off to career for the friendlies they've got, or do we put him on the bench? And if there was one choice, it would just be to bring Son on when they're tiring, so he can have more of an impact. Because we saw against Sheffield United, the space he had wasn't a lot. He was running off scraps, and I feel it could be the same here, where Valise could probably hold it up better.
He said before the game, he said after the game, Postecoglou, that the plan against Liverpool for Sonny was always to play around an hour because of his fitness issues. If the situation is the same going into this game, let's say Andrew's saying he's probably only fit for 60 minutes or so, would you start him and then take him off after the hour mark, or you'd say you would just bring him on?
Listen, Ange knows a hell of a lot more and better than me, and if Ange says he's good enough for 60 minutes, then I'm going with what Ange said every single time.
Ange
Man,
says
it's
leave
just
you in.
well, that he can fuck off with. No, well, then he's deluded. But no, I think when it comes to it, obviously he knows best. If he thinks he gets 60 minutes, use him for the 60 minutes. But I'm just saying, from what I saw of him going off the bench, obviously I don't get to see him all week and everything. The man is in devastating form,
Yeah.
and I think he should be Player of the Month, hands down, with the players that were on the short list for his goal contributions. So yeah, if Ange says he's good for 60, then hell, he's good for 60.
So talk to me, Daigle. We're going top of the league this weekend.
I believe we are. I honestly
How long
believe
for?
we are. I honestly believe we are. But also, what would be great is if we can do that, and Man City beat Arsenal, to say that Tottenham Hotspur will have the longest unbeaten run in the Premier League. If we had started this season and gone round and Arsenal Spurs fans, will we be the last team to go unbeaten? I don't think a lot of us would seriously have said, yeah, we'll be that team. So it'd be another tremendous achievement, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. And you're looking at our fixtures. I mean, I don't want to look too far ahead, but we've got kind of very much winnable fixtures over the next four games. So maybe we could even take that even a stretch even further.
Well, I completely think we can. I honestly, right now, you have to say whatever's going on at Tottenham Hotspur with the team, the match, just everything at the moment, it seems to be singing off the same hymn sheet at the moment. There seems to be a train track. They're all going down, and long may it continue. But yeah, I think what is it next after this? Fulham, Palace, Chelsea.
Yeah, is there one more in there as well before the Chelsea game? I'm just looking at it now. It's Luton, Fulham, Palace, yeah, Chelsea, then Wolves.
Okay, so out of that 12, you would say 12 points are definitely there for the taking, wouldn't you? In all honesty, the full Chelsea's on.
Yeah, Palace away. Palace away is a difficult game though, but you know they might not have Eze.
I've said this before, Ben. I still see Crystal Palace as one of the toughest places to go in the Premier League.
Yeah,
because of their away support. I mean, obviously we were there last time when we won 4-0, but it's normally a really, really tough game there. So out of the Chelsea, Fulham, Palace, Chelsea, Wolves, I think Palace away is the hardest one.
Yeah, Wolves is usually a fairly hard game as well. Wolves away at Molineux.
Oh, they beat us last season as well, didn't they? There's a lot of wrongs we've got to right.
Yeah, I just think you can't take any game for granted, can you? In this Premier League, you saw how City lost to Wolves last week. Like anything, you can't take anything for granted in this Premier League season.
Spot on. But you got to think. I mean, it's Chelsea and Fulham at home. Palace. All right? Let's just say at least I would expect from those points at least 7.
For you, like we were having this discussion before about what things we can learn, because obviously everyone's expecting us to go and win this game, of course.
Yep.
Luton near the bottom of the league, we're playing very well at the moment. So for you, like, is there a lot you can take away if we do win, or do you just say, oh, we expected to win, so it doesn't really matter, so you can't really learn too much from a victory? Or does it come a lot about the mentality of the team if we do go there and comfortably win?
Yeah, I think you've got to take something from every victory, Simeon. If we win this, you've got to remember, again, it will be now, 8 games unbeaten?
Yeah.
Which, keeping that momentum and run going, there's got to be that kind of thought in the team, let's see how long we can get this to go. And there's that pressure because people are waiting for us to slip up. And slipping up against Luton, they will go, ha, you slipped up against Luton, you got mugged off in Kenilworth Road in someone's back. It all start. So I think this is a really big test. And if we get through it again unscathed, let's say, what will that be? 6 victories. We're on 20 points out of a possible 24. You reflect back on that after 2 international, after second. That's a huge achievement. A huge achievement. So I think you can take something from every game. And for this, it will mainly be keeping that consistency going, the mentality not to bottle it. So yeah, there's a lot to take from it if we do get the victory.
Score prediction, Daigle?
I'm going big, I'm going bold, I'm going 3-1, and I'm even going to say Richarlison for 2 of them.
Oh, really? Who's going to get the other one?
I don't know, but I've been saying I just think Richarlison he's going to come into his own and get a couple. So 3-1 Tottenham.
You think
Go on, Tim.
Richarlison's been improving a lot then? Or you been happy with Richarlison in recent weeks?
Let's look at it. He came on against Sheffield United and obviously had the impact he had. Didn't really do much at Arsenal, but held the line a bit and had an opportunity. But if you look at his performance against Liverpool, he put that ball across the box that Kulusevski just couldn't get. Obviously got the assist. Done quite a bit. Hit the post. He had more to do. I think he needs to grow in some more confidence that he's growing gradually. And I think he will start showing better performances. And I think these kind of games against Luton, where I think he would have been better playing than again, like I said, Son, who would maybe have not got the space and was substituted. I think there's certain games that Richarlison's fit for and really well suited for. And a physical game against Luton would be one of them.
Just before we let you go, Brian, we've got a super chat here from Phil P. And
Big up, Phil, brother.
He says, fuck off back to Canada. North London is ours.
Yeah, I remember you guys singing that when we were having our curry on Thursday. Yes, I have gone back to Canada. Yes, I'm back in Toronto, and man, am I happy.
He was going to stay apparently before that song.
Thanks for coming on, Brian. We'll see you next time, and hopefully see you on the fan show tomorrow.
You will indeed. Shabbat shalom, and as always, Levy out.
See you, Brian. Big up. Another super chat here from Yukio saying, come on you Spurs from Texas. Got to wake up at 6:30, 5-1 to Spurs. So
yeah, you got to appreciate all the international fans who have to wake up all these crazy times.
Yeah, absolutely. It just shows big dedication. I don't know if I would have it in me to do that, to be honest. And CCM28 is just responding to the last super chat, and he says he wanted another Wigan, but can't see it happening.
You never know.
Have belief.
You never know.
Have belief.
We're all out.
But let's go on from Mr. Box Office to Mr. Post Office. Ooh. How you doing, Alex?
Oh, you muted, mate. Oh, there you go.
It's Mr. Box Office to you, mate. That's all I need to say. That's it.
It's Sir Box Office to you.
Sir Box Office.
No, it's Mr. Box Office. That's it, and that's all I need to say, and that's it, really.
How are you, mate? Are you good?
Well, I'm just back to just to rattle some brains. You know what I mean? Because you'll see people in your chat right now saying, "Oh my gosh, this negative Nancy's on the chat right now." You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? That's how it is.
I gotta say that I was watching the content. I was obviously ill over the weekend during a Liverpool game, and I was watching Sim's fan cam where he was doing an interview with Ashmatic, and I just see you coming from behind going, "That was fucking shit, man. That was shit.
Yeah,
that was shit."
Imagine that reaction after a last-minute winner.
Everyone is buzzing on top of the world, and then you're coming from behind. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you're recording.
I didn't realise it. Honestly. I did apologise. It was rubbish though. It was crap. It was crap. So let's not get it right. But I think we've already covered it already. I mean, to be honest with you, I just think the problem I had with it was with the substitutions and the fact that they went down to 9 men, and really it was then we had to win the game. That was the problem I had with it. It killed off the game. Let's be honest here. It did kill off the game. But I've heard a lot of excuses from Tottenham fans. A lot of excuses.
But we won. We got 3 points. We got there in the end.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Poro decided to put a ball in on the floor, and then Matic couldn't sort out his feet. We got lucky. We got really lucky. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? We should be rinsing them to pieces. You know what I mean? Liverpool came out of that with a lot of credit, to be honest with you. A lot of credit. Yeah. You know? And I didn't like his substitutions as well, to be honest with you. Ben Davis, Skip, and Højbjerg, who we all said are bang average. You've got Ashley Phillips, the future. Yeah. The class of 92, I was told. Brian's mate, Johnny, who keeps on classing him as them out. You know what I mean? He had Dongle there, and Valise came on too late. So, like, listen, you know what? There's not really that much to complain about. We're playing really good football, yeah. I'm not going to lie about that. No, you know, we are playing absolutely fantastic football. It's just too early. It's way too early. I'm seeing streams now, and I've seen this before, and I'm seeing all the things coming out. I've seen Tottenham being top before, and you see streams saying, "Oh, Tottenham are doing something right now." We're doing something right now. Oh yeah, yeah. You're seeing it. You're seeing it. You saw it under Conte. You saw it under Mourinho. I'm seeing it
Do you
right
think we're
now.
doing something right now? Do you think?
Too early. Too early, especially Postecoglou. I will admit this right now, and I'm going to say this on my channel, and Stelios has already said it already. Yeah, Prodigy was cooking. He has been cooking.
Hey,
No.
finally!
Calm yourself.
Finally!
Is it
Calm
Don
yourselves.
Paratici?
Calm
Is
yourselves.
it
No.
Don?
Not about the signings because he's still got 2 rejects in. No. Not the managers. Yeah, because Postecoglou wasn't down at him. The structure at the moment. Yeah, and Simon Davis. Yeah, I give him that all day long. Yeah, that's where I'm a little bit like saying, okay, but it needs to be consistent. We have to see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think at the moment there's not really that much to complain about. No, there isn't. There isn't nothing.
Are
Not
you
much to complain
are
about.
you singing Postecoglou's name yet?
No.
Are you still you're still
No.
not singing his name.
No. That's going to take time. That's going to take time. No, that's going to take time.
After how many wins can we sing his name?
Well, no, you can sing his name, but I said he needs to have a bad run, and it's coming. It is coming. That bad run, it will be coming. Yeah.
So
I think he even knows it as well.
what I'm saying, where's the cut-off point until you start singing his name?
When he has a bad run of games, of losing games.
So you'll start singing once he has a bad one, then you'll start.
Yeah.
Singing
When we get through a losing streak, and then the board back him when he has a bad run, and he has a bad time.
So if we win the league, if we win every game from now to the end of the season, you won't sing his name because we haven't had a bad run.
Well, yeah, I will sing his name, yeah, because obviously he's done well. But I mean, that's what is it? What's the word? I can't think of it now. Seriously, sorry about this. But yeah, that's just looking at looking at different examples, and that's it. But for me, at the moment, it's too early. I've seen this before. You know what I mean?
Alex,
I think.
go on, carry on.
No, I just think it's too early. I think you see now everyone's worried about Maddison being injured. We saw what happened after during Arsenal in the second half when he came off and Son came off. Yeah, you saw what happened. We had no one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's the thing is though, I think it's just about using the squad that we've got and using the youngsters we've got as well, because it is still a build. I think that's the thing. I'm still looking at it like this. I'm relaxed because I think we're still going to be 8th, 6th at best. You know what I mean?
Best.
6th
You don't
at best,
think there's
yeah.
any chance of the top 4 this year?
No, and I don't really care, to be honest.
Who's
being honest.
above us? Who's above us then?
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
City.
Arsenal, City, Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Okay.
Newcastle.
So that puts us in 5th.
5th.
Brighton.
I'm not counting out Chelsea. And I'm definitely not counting out Manchester United. I know it might, because I think you'd be wrong to do that. They might not be this season, but maybe 5th. But I'm still thinking 6th, regardless, because I still look at teams like Brighton and West Ham. West Ham concern me. West Ham really do concern me. I've got to be honest.
If we had started the season like Chelsea had, you'd probably be saying we're getting relegated.
Well, no, but the thing is, Sim, I think it's like this for me. A season's not done on 7 games; it's done on a season. Yeah, and for me, I think there's a lot still to go with this team at the moment. I don't think we've popped. Yeah, you see and I think still, I'm not just bigging him up all the time, but he's absolutely spot on. When you see when we were, at the beginning of the play, you see that people think we struggle. We don't struggle. It's just that we're trying to feel the team that we're playing. That you see what I'm saying when they're pressing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things there, and I think there's a squad depth problem as well, where I think there are players there that I don't know whether they're going to fit into the team at the moment, or they need to step up, and that's it for me. And we need to decide what we're going to do with these youngsters that are coming up from the under-21s as well. And I think they need to. I think they need a chance. For me, I think that's where we've had a disadvantage that we haven't been in Europe this season, and the Carabao Cup this season. And we'll have to see what we do in the FA Cup as well. But for me, it's just I'm relaxed because I do enjoy the football. It's been the best football since Poch. Yeah, so there's a positive. Yeah, so clip that one. You know what I mean? So your chat people that who think I'm talking negative and I'm post office. Yeah, but it's but for me, I do think that this is still a long way to go. And even Postecoglou saying it himself. You see what I'm saying? I think he's just said the fans should be happy and just celebrate because he's just letting them say, well, do whatever they want to do because they pay their money and that's it. They can do whatever they want to do. But he knows that this is a long term thing and that's it for me. Yeah, and I don't think it's a great league this season. I've got to be honest. I think it's a bang average league this season. I've got to be honest. Yeah, I don't rate really Arsenal right now at the moment. I think you can see they're in a bit of a mess at the moment. I think Manchester United show you what you can be good the first season, and then look at what's happened now. Now he's losing the dressing room now. I'm being told. Chelsea are in their rebuild. Manchester City have got a motivation problem because of they've won the treble. So there's so many things. There's so many things that can happen. And even I'm hearing now January now signings. So it's so many factors at the moment, and you can't just judge it on 7 games. And that's
Alex,
the way I look at it.
Talk to me about the game this weekend, Luton away. Are you worried at all coming into this game?
No, I shouldn't be, to be honest with you, because I think we should beat them easily. I think we should beat them easily, to be honest with you. The only concern I have is I think we'll be letting in a goal because I think their striker will have our defenders' numbers.
Really?
I've watched that striker. That striker is very physical.
Carlton
I
Morris.
can't remember his name. Yeah, I think he'll have our number because I don't think we're very good in the air. Yeah.
So what's your score prediction?
I think it's 3-1.
3-1.
Because we're letting the goal.
Who's getting on the score sheet?
I've got no idea. I think Son will get his praise, and I think Son will get a goal, and that's it. I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I think Cooling needs a good game because I've not been impressed with him at all. To be honest with you, I think he's just been bang average. To be honest with you, I think you say his name, you say, "Oh, he's not been very good," and everyone gets defensive all of a sudden. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You haven't been watching him, mate.
No, I have been watching him. He's been bang average. I'm not being funny. He's been bang average.
No one's carried the ball into the box more times than Kulusevski this season.
No. He's been bang average. I've got to be honest. Like, I'm not being funny. He has not been very good. He should be in the centre. He should be in the centre. If you're talking about replacement for Maddison at the moment, I think he should be it for me. Also, I think Son's been okay, but he's clinical. I think that's the main thing with him. He's clinical, but there's times when he's you don't see him in the game. Bedsuma wasn't great against Liverpool. Let's be honest here, right? Let's be honest here. He wasn't great. He was good towards the end, but we're playing 9 men. Yeah, and Van der Ven, I do agree. Van der Ven his pace is getting him out of trouble. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. I think there's a lot of things to go with that at the moment. But, yeah, because people will say that I'm being negative.
But having said all that, we'll finish the weekend top of the league.
Yeah, we'll finish top of the league, yes. Yes.
Not all bad.
Thank you for coming on, Alex, bro. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, take care. Right, bye-bye.
That's one, Alex.
Have a good one. That was Alex, Mr. Box Office. Box Office as always. But let's go on to the last caller of the day, and that is Mr. KPV.
Yes, guys, what's going on? WeAreTottenhamTV here.
How's it going, mate? I can see you're doing your best Hulk Hogan impression with the beard today.
Yeah, I'm good. But Marnie, good to see you back in studio, my friend. I know you've been ill, but yeah.
Thank you, mate.
Good. Yeah, I hope you're well, mate. And did you get my message on WhatsApp, mate?
No, I didn't actually.
Well, I messaged you on WhatsApp, and I hope you get better for the big game on Saturday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the message. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still buzzing. And people, I tagged you on Twitter, but yeah, I'm disappointed in Tim Sherwood. I'm fuming.
Tim Sherwood?
Tim Sherwood, man. He has put somebody in his all-time Premier League 11, a graduate who we do not like, and he put him in there.
Not the same person you made your WhatsApp picture.
Shut up, Tim. Premier League 11. I tagged you in and watch the video, man, because it is controversial. So let Ferdinand do one, mate. Like, I don't care. Like, yeah, he kept us up. I don't give a toss. Like, I find it difficult.
Damn right. Sherwood out. Sherwood
Sherwood out,
should
man.
never be putting that guy anywhere near an all-time 11.
I don't. But anyway, let me talk about something that will make us guys happy. Count me in. I want that Champions League final we played. Everyone agrees with Jan Vertonghen. Brian and I agree. Count him in. I want it replayed. If you want a Champions League final replayed, give me a hell yeah, people in the chat.
Hell yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
where would you watch it? You're gonna watch it where you watch the actual Champions League final?
I was in the pub, mate. The one down the road in Stortford with Leslie. She's Tottenham and Liverpool, but she was the only Liverpool fan. She was wearing her husband's Liverpool shirt from the 2005 Champions League winning campaign. The one where, and yeah, fortunately we lost, but we play it, man. Like, it wasn't handled
Damn
by
right.
the full train. Here's on pit, and like Liverpool fan, AC Milan won that 2005 Champions League final we played. Like, get over it. You lost, and yeah, Tudek was off his line. I watched it, but I've watched two Champions League finals, and we should have won that because I know you two were in Madrid. You've been to Madrid twice. The Bernabeu, we got a point, and Atletico's stadium where we didn't. But at least we got a point.
And Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah, I know. Sim was asleep. Sim was in bed because I watched the vlog and Sim was just still asleep. I watched it and I watched it.
Sim, why did you sleep through the game?
I was there. I wasn't asleep.
Before the game, like when it was light, you were still in bed and Ben told, come on, Sim, go up, it's match day, blood. And
I remember that. Oh, wow.
and Amsterdam, blood. I should have went to Amsterdam, but fortunately I couldn't. But yeah, I enjoyed the game. But well done to Lucas on finally winning the trophy. Well done, mate. And Toby, I know what he's going for after he missed that penalty. Unlucky blow. But yeah, there's always the next game. But we finally beat Liverpool and they still won the game we played. Are you mad? Get over it. You got done over and cry more. Cry more, mate. You got
Damn
done
right.
over. Shut up. Like,
Carl, what are you thinking about the Luton game? Are we going to win?
Of course, man. Like, Luton, I'm not concerned. Like, Velis, whatever that guy's name is, I'd probably try him then bring Thorn off the bench like we did last season. Hat-trick against Leicester and then came off the bench against West Ham. Like, yeah, it came off. So, but I know people are probably going to say we should start him, but nah, man, I'd put him on the bench and then bring him on because he's a late sub. Like, and you now come off super sub. Lewente, maybe? Yeah, super sub. So, yeah, why not start him on the bench and then bring him on? Because I thought, yeah, Vélez, that Argentina guy, I know where his name is. And, yeah, brilliant game from Richarlison. Assist and hit the post. And, yeah, Sean scored, one in the second half, it was offside. And John Matip, own goal. And Porro thought he scored, but he said on Twitter, sorry everyone had me in their team, the scene at the end was unbelievable. But yeah, I'm going to be watching it tomorrow and international break. But yeah, you've seen England squad and some players who I don't think should be in it are a bit not great. But that's Gareth Southgate for you. So look, bring on Luton and then we're going to win them next 5 games and we'll go unbeaten. Like, it's happening. I told Brian and Stel on Saturday, and it's coming, people. It's coming home. Stel said it. You heard it here first. I'm beaten, and so I don't care what those Arsenal fans saying. They were the first team, but that was Premier League. But West Ham actually first. That was the old division. 42 games unbeaten, and then Arsenal 49. So I say we go 55 games, but surely we'll be 55. So yeah, it's going to happen, people. The double's on, but Vicario's nominated for Save of the Month again. We actually should have won it in August, Save against United, but Rob, so he's winning it this time, people. So yeah, treble's on, lads, for Tottenham. 3 awards. So Big Ange winning it, Strong Player of the Month, Vicario, well, saving them up. So hat trick for Tottenham people. I'm out, and I'll see you for the. Well, Ben, you going tomorrow night?
No, I'm not. I'm here in the studio, mate.
Tim?
No, also in the studio.
Hey! So again, two in the studio. So I'll see you two tomorrow. And as always, leave it out. Stay good then. La boss.
Labosh.
Exactly. A classic watch along tomorrow, an OG watch along, we like to call it, with me and Sim in the studio. That is it from our guests. So just get through one more super chat before we end the stream from Lazy8 saying, can we have Hippie Hotspur Mr. Box Office match build up just so I can watch the universe implode in on itself under the weight of opposing energies?
Jeez.
Maybe we can try and make that happen. But David Schweier has actually gifted another We Are Tottenham membership.
Big up, David.
So big up to all the way to Western Australia. And thank you very much for your support of the channel today. But we'll see you guys very, very soon. Press conference is up on the channel. Make sure to watch out for 10:30 p.m. tonight as the embargoed section of Ange Postecoglou's press conference will be going live on the channel. But come back. We'll see you all tomorrow at around 12:15 for the watch long. Do join the pump up though, which starts about an hour and a half before kickoff as well, where you see David, the Irish Hotspur, with Hippie Hotspur, as well as Ashmatic, I think, is going to be on the show as well tomorrow. So another day of Tottenham content tomorrow. Tomorrow, Ange Ball returns, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.